federal government is closing the Immigration and Refugee Processing Center in Vegreville, Alberta. Now this means 280 jobs are being lost in this eastern Alberta farming community of less than 6,000 people. The immigration office was one of the largest single employers in town, and Mayor Myron Hayduck is fuming, telling the Edmonton Journal, and I quote, that if our Prime Minister is so concerned about the well-being of people around the world, maybe he should look at his own country. I feel it's very political, end quote. Yeah, Mayor Hayduck's got this all figured out. And now the federal government is trying to throw the town a bone to appease Mayor Hayduck and the devastated townspeople by saying the current employees can follow along when the office relocates to progressive and liberal voting Edmonton in 2018, which just shows how out of touch these liberals are with the West. Vegreville is a farming community. Farm families who work at the processing center aren't going to sell their family farms that have been in the family for generations and move 100 kilometers away to the city because the federal government has given their jobs to liberal voters in Edmonton. And the reasoning of the federal government just doesn't hold any water. The feds say the move will offer proximity to universities, public transit, housing, and career growth opportunities that will make it easier to recruit qualified bilingual workers. Well, Vegreville has housing and career growth opportunities and qualified bilingual workers. They've had qualified bilingual workers there since 1994 when the center first opened. Besides, the processing center doesn't even deal directly with immigration and refugee claimants, so it doesn't need to be conveniently in the city, where office space rents are actually higher. The center processes applications and study permits and other paperwork. It doesn't even deal with real people. But what they don't have in Vegreville is a Liberal MP or two, like they do in Edmonton. You see, Vegreville hasn't voted Liberal since 1953. It's a blue Tory riding, voting for the old PC party and then the Reform Party and now Conservative. Vegreville doesn't have a sycophantic Liberal MP that will shut up and support the Liberals, even when the Liberals are doing things that harm Albertans and cost us their jobs. They do have Liberal MPs like those in Edmonton with Randy Boissonnault, and in Edmonton Mill Woods with Amarjeet Sohi. Vegreville has a rookie Conservative MP named Shannon Stubbs, and she works hard to fight for oil patch jobs, she advocates for LNG, and she stands up for Albertans against the carbon tax. She even has a House of Commons petition against the Liberal carbon tax. This is her right here.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberals are so out of touch with hardworking Canadians. The federally imposed carbon tax is just another example. Families, farmers, energy workers, charities, and small businesses in Alberta have already been devastated by unprecedented job losses. Imposing a cash-grabbing tax on everything will only make things more difficult for all Canadians, but especially hard-hit Albertans at the very worst time. Albertans want to know, why are the Liberals destroying Alberta's economy by kicking us while we're down?
That speech right there, that constant advocacy for the West, is why Trudeau came after Vegreville. You see, Vegreville has a Conservative MP who's fighting back against the Liberals who are redistributing our wealth with a carbon tax to the rest of the country. So a malicious and spiteful federal government has now decided to redistribute jobs from Vegreville as punishment. You see, we Albertans, we embarrassed Trudeau with a devastating rejection in the Medicine Hat by-election. So his feelings are hurt. And now Vegreville has to pay the price for it. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. It's not enough that Trudeau is taking jobs out of Vegreville by moving the Immigration Processing Center. He's also killing jobs there with the carbon tax. To fight back, sign our petition at stopthecarbontax.com.